Alright, shalom, hello. This video, we're going to make some natural herbal incense. And the first thing you need is the extra ingredients you'll want at my mortar and pestle. And since this will be a quick video, I'm just going to use cloves and eucalyptus and take at 5 cloves in hand. I'm just going to grind those up real quick. When I mash and grind, make sure they're fine. Okay, good. And for the eucalyptus, I do mash it a little. I'm just gonna take a pinch. I don't use real mashing. So I have this much. I'm gonna add a little more. Okay, so this is not quite a fourth of a teaspoon. See that there? Just gonna throw that in there. And I'm just grinding a bit into the cloves. You can add whatever you want for herbs and things like that. You can do extra stuff. You can do rosemary, thyme, a lot of different things. I'm just going to make this simple for the sake of the video. Using ground cinnamon, any brand will do. And I kind of eyeball it. I don't know if you can see how much is actually empty. I think maybe start off with 2 tablespoons. I just eye it and dump it in there so you have everything in. And you have to add cinnamon if needed. Here, I have some wooden stirrers, but when I make incense, I like to use my hand so I can ensure that everything I've grounded really mix in with the cinnamon. Mixing it up like that. I don't use this for it because it's not going to stir the way I'd like it to stir. And since I didn't use a lot of ingredients for this particular type of incense, I'm going to go ahead and add water. And the thing is, let me show first. So if you can see, it's pretty much blended. It just looks like cinnamon. It has some specks in there. I don't have the light on. I'm using natural light, so you may not be able to see it very good, but it's very blended. You just pour a little water. You can start with maybe a tablespoon. And again, I'm mixing with my hands. The consistency is starting to change. Mix with my hands. I like to touch these things. Give it my energy. So ultimately, what you want is the consistency of this, okay? And this is where you're going to take your incense from. It should be a little wet, but still firm. And you'll be able to test it once we start rolling the incense. I'm just gathering a bit more from the side to add to my little cinnamon clump. And here we go. So I got this round ball, but I'm going to leave it inside of here and take a chunk just about this big. It's fairly small. I may need to add a little more water to it. Seems wet enough. And you just want to kind of roll it into a Hershey Kiss. Okay? Cone shape here. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but the base is going to be wider. You can use your thumb to kind of flatten, and you'll have this here. Kind of roll it up, shape it. And I just have this plate I've used forever. I have foil on top of a paper plate, and I just set it there to dry. And I just keep reusing the plate because I don't like to be wasteful. So when I was in a pinch, I wanted to make incense really quickly. I'm going to add a little more water because it seems a little dry. Splash. Oh yeah, that feels perfect. And now you'll know if you use too much water because you won't be able to shape it. It'll be soft, it'll be a little gooey, and you may need to add cinnamon to it. But the thing is, it's hard to determine exactly how much. So it's really going to be a trial and error situation. There we have our second cinnamon cone. And depending on how you dry these, some people dry them outside. If it's summer, if it's hot, I'll dry it outside in the sun. Sometimes I'll do partial sun drying. It just depends on what type of mood I'm in. And since it's cool here where we are, it's winter, sometimes I put it in front of the vent and it'll dry quicker than just leaving it someplace else. It gets the heat to it and it still burns fairly nicely. So you can get generally, I do, get about, well, it depends on how big you make your cones, but you can usually get maybe 7 to 12, depending on the size you make. The bigger you make them, the longer it'll take to dry. And just want to add, when you choose the spices or if you want to add to your um, incense, try to avoid spicy things like cayenne or paprika. Those do not, they burn hot. They'll have you coughing and things like that. So don't go for those. That's my recommendation. And this is how much we have left. I don't want this video to be too long, but you can see here piece, and that'll burn very nicely. Eucalyptus is not poisonous to burn. It's nice. It actually has a very relaxing effect. You can use bay leaf for like a nighttime incense situation. I have heard of some using essential oils. I don't use essential oils because I don't like how the incense dry. It changes the consistency. And for me personally, it didn't do very much for the smell. The fragrance is lovely. We're getting these out pretty quickly. I'm going to show you the end result momentarily because we're almost done. Always keep a napkin, paper towel, cloth, whatever you use, close so that you can wipe your hands off when you're done because you get messy. This is one of my favorite things to make. All right, last one, and we have 2, 4, 6. So we got 8 out of this batch. And I did these a little bigger than I did the last batch. So they'll take a little longer to dry, but put them in front of a vent. And of course, don't forget to clean this out when you're done. It's not hard to clean if you don't clean it right away and it dries, but who wants to do that? So just clean as you go. And there you have your incense. I'm not good with the camera, as you all can tell. But you have your plate of incense. If you need to do a little reshaping, you want to make them flatter, more pointy, you can play around with it. And I'll show you what the finished product looks like. I actually should have bought a lighter to burn, but I have these in a case. This is what you have once they dry, right? I just keep them in this little container. They are fragile, so try not to drop them. That's all we have for today. If you like the video, like the video and share. Until next time.